Here, and today we'll be watching um let me see, disturbing analog I mean my bad, my disturbing ARG, banned from YouTube. Can't really see the rest, but today we'll be also drawing if I can. Hey, we can. I got it working, and I don't know what I'm gonna draw today actually. Let me go on Pinterest and so I see if I can draw, because I can't animate. No, I can animate. It's just that I don't really want to actually right now. So, um, not now. Um, yeah, no idea what I want to draw. Not gonna lie, no idea. I probably should have just figured that out when I was drawing, while I was looking for a video, because it actually took me a minute to figure out what video I actually wanted to draw. Um, You know, I'm just gonna do a redesign. Try to do a redesign of my character. And wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, do a redesign of my character. And yeah, I think that'll be it. I can only draw for an hour. So that's it, and I hope you guys enjoy this video.
In April of 2017, a strange YouTube channel began uploading mysterious videos. Most of the videos didn't even have a specific title, just the default title that came from the video's file name. And most of the footage was just random shots of nature or buildings. But in the midst of this unassuming imagery, something disturbing was taking place. It seemed whoever was uploading this footage was doing so out of order. And when placed in order, it seems the videographer was stalking women, filming dead animals, and eventually documented the kidnap and murder of several victims. The presentation of the series led many online to speculate if it was real, given how hyper-violent some of the imagery seemed to be. And in January of 2020, after uploading for over 2.5 years, the entire channel would disappear, seemingly being banned from YouTube altogether. This has led to speculation that at least some parts of the series are connected to real crimes, and of course added to the mystery of the whole channel. While using archives of the series, we can see that it's not only as intense as everyone described, but beyond the shocking presentation, there's a puzzle. A puzzle that can be pieced together using the different film types and titles for each video, and opens up a found footage terror full of murder and betrayal. Hello everybody, today we're going to be talking about the now gone YouTube channel, kepther, or kepther. I heard about kepther not too long back, and I am amazed that more people aren't talking about it. Like, sure, the entire channel got deleted, but there's archives of it, and this entire series is absurd. Not only because I think it's well done, but I am blown away that anyone uploaded this to YouTube because of how over the top intense some of the imagery is. The two places you can still watch the series are, for one, on the Internet Archive, where all of the videos are still broken down with their original names, and the Coctitus, whatever, media, who's uploaded a video that is the entire series as it was uploaded, followed by the entire series in sort of chronological order. As you're going to see, making a timeline for this series is difficult. So it'll be linked in the description, and the series does a great job at setting its mood and aesthetic. So if you're interested, I would recommend checking it out first. However, Major, all capital letters, viewer discretion. I'm not going to show the images in this video. I'll have them like blurred out or pixelated or something. But in the original series, there is completely uncensored full frontal male nudity, which is probably why I got taken off YouTube. Dead animals, not like they murdered animals like roadkill, and some images of people being tortured that are probably a little bit real. Like, unless the theories online are true, people weren't actually being murdered and cut up, but they are being tied up and in some uncomfortable positions in some of the scenes. So again, the series is linked below, but again, viewer discretion. I'm sure after that introduction, you are so excited to hear about this very happy, definitely not miserable series. And if you are, then stick around after the ad as we talk about the banned YouTube channel, kepther. While talking about fictional things that can go wrong, it's important to focus on real things that can go wrong, like your sleep schedule. Throughout the day, I have a million things on my mind, so typically when I go to bed, it can be hard for me to sponsoring the channel. Their link will be in the description, and we are back to the video. We are going to go ahead and get into it, but as always, thank you for watching. Now, as mentioned, the majority of the videos on this channel don't have named titles. It's just the default title that's created when the file was made, as if someone was recording it and then immediately uploading it to the YouTube channel, which further goes into the presentation of the channel, as the channel was called kepther and didn't even have a profile picture. On top of that, kepther is kind of misspelled, as there is a space before the last E, implying that whoever's running this channel is just using it as a personal storage bank. One thing you may notice glancing over the channel, if it still existed, is that there are different kinds of files. Some are DV or mini DV tapes, some begin with P, which is like a DSLR camera, and some are just IMG, as if they were recorded on an iPhone. In addition to this, however, some of the videos, seemingly at random, are named. But even then, they're more of storage names rather than titles, like Garage or On Roof. All in all, when the channel was taken down, it had 114 videos. So let's start getting into those videos and see what we find. The first section of videos is noted by the DV file type, again implying that what we're seeing is from a mini DV camcorder. And it seems that what we're watching is just non sequitur images of someone's day. Shots of them driving down a road and then standing in trees and then looking up at the sky. They go to the woods and zoom in on a pink ribbon. They stand by a river, go to a construction area, and the first video ends with them standing in a parking lot with a school bus. It's as if someone is going about their day and then just picking up the camcorder, recording for a few seconds, and then putting it down. That continues through the next couple videos as whoever's recording goes to stand on a rooftop at night, walks behind what looks like a dorm room or office building under construction, eventually goes inside and then walks around outside, gets footage of someone who's jogging, and then two people on a bench, one of which seems to be going to sleep on the bench. It seems whoever this is just kind of wanders around. They see this unassuming thing, they get footage of it, they walk over there, they walk away, they get footage of this other thing. If there is a purpose to what they're recording, we don't see it yet. The next video is much the same, and also I'm not reading off the title of these because it wouldn't mean anything to you if I was like, in DV100135. So unless I say it has a title, just assume it's unimportant for now. In the next video, our cameraman is walking around an abandoned building. He then goes to the woods behind the building and gets footage of ants. Then near the end of the video, he seemingly crouches down into the grass and then scurries away. For whatever reason, it seems like he's hiding from something. Our next video is the first one that has a title, and its title is Garage, Groundbreaking Stuff. And then, believe it or not, the footage of which is inside of a parking garage. Most of the footage consists of our cameraman recording unassuming parts of a parking garage. The staircase, a bottle on the ground. He eventually starts recording this dude in a green shirt, but from his perspective, it seems that our cameraman is hiding as he does so. Perhaps he knows this guy, or just doesn't want this guy to know he's filming. The next video takes place inside of a large, unfinished house. The house itself is several stories tall, but the inside is little more than baseboards. From the top floor, our cameraman gets footage of what I think is a raccoon crawling around in the yard, that or like a big cat. And then there's footage of him walking around in the house in the dark, and then the video just ends. Now, I understand how these videos are probably a filter for a lot of people coming into the series. They hear it's creepy and graphic, and they watch 5 videos, and all they've seen is some trees and the ground. I think it does a great job at kind of setting the tone that we're just watching someone's personal videos that they maybe recorded trying to learn a camera, or they just want to record the mundanity of life. And it gives us our setting that our narrative will later occur in, but I also understand if you think it's boring. Our next video is once again a titled one, and the title of the video is Cat 1 through 6. When the video starts, we see that it is not about a cat at all. It is in fact about a dead raccoon. And this is not a fake dead raccoon or like a stuffed raccoon. This is a decomposing raccoon. I don't know if the guys that made Kept Here found a dead raccoon like roadkill and just put it in the house to record, or if they killed it themselves. Whatever they did, they left that raccoon rotting there a while. There's also some blue writing next to the raccoon. We can't see what it says yet, but we will later. This is followed by shots of a flashlight out in the dark and a bonfire. In our next video, we're once again around a fire with a group of guys talking, and we get this quick exchange.
What were you telling me earlier about the girl? Dude, do you mind like putting the camera down for a minute and actually talking to me?
So for one, this establishes that our cameraman films everything, as you've probably gathered, but also he seems to have interest in a girl. Well, as we're about to see, that interest may not be a good thing. As right after this, we see several shots of our cameraman walking around a mall. He sees a girl in pink sweatpants and begins filming her from a distance. Once again, doing so in a way that makes it seem like he doesn't want to be found out. While earlier, when recording footage of the guy in the parking garage and the dude jogging at night, it could be argued that maybe he was just getting footage of people going about their day-to-day life, but this footage of the girl becomes much more sinister when he begins to follow her. She walks through the mall, eventually to the parking garage. All the while, our cameraman keeps recording short glimpses of her. Eventually, she leaves and he seemingly turns his sights onto a woman in a purple jacket. Doing the same with her, only eventually getting much closer. So perhaps what we're witnessing is a series that is from the POV of a stalker. But if he is a stalker and that's what it's meant by the girl he's interested in, then why would he be telling his friend about that? Things to keep in mind. Well, the next video seemingly confirms that suspicion, as it is titled Pray. And this video is of somebody's house from the outside at night. The camera walks up to the house and peers through the windows to see a girl getting ready for bed. I'm not 100% positive on this, but I think it's the same girl who was wearing the purple jacket in the mall. So it looks like our cameraman has followed this woman all the way home and is now filming her in her own house. This is what I mean by the setup for the series makes the punch of it all the more effective. Because up until this point, you've just been watching videos of clouds and trees and ants. You get used to the way that the cameraman shoots these scenes, but then when it's something as intense as this, something as intense as peering in on a woman in her own bedroom, it's recorded with the same objectiveness, as if she is something to be observed. And it makes the sickening feeling of what you're watching all the more impactful. Which also, I should clarify again, because people theorize about the series online, no, it's not real. This is not actually a man stalking a woman. The acting, for the most part in the series, is fine, but when acting's required, you can tell that they're acting. There's also some more fantastical elements of this later, and some of the crimes we'll see, if this was real, then they should get Batman on the case. I've also seen people talking negatively about this series because someone said that this is based off like a real criminal case and that some of the images that are used are from an actual crime scene and that some of the names are from actual victims, which is not true. Everything in this series is fictional and all the imagery was made by the series creator itself, whoever that is. The YouTube channel they're thinking of is Deeper, which is like an ARG that's based off an unsolved homicide, I believe. But yeah, Kept Here didn't kill anyone, except for the raccoon. To follow up the imagery from Prey, the next video is called Clouds, which is just a minute and 20 seconds of clouds. The next video, titled On Roof, shows our cameraman standing on top of the unfinished building from earlier. Once again, just recording the sky, clouds, people on a golf cart. We get some images of the unfinished house from outside, and it is huge, but again left in a state of disrepair for some reason. However, once again, when night falls, our cameraman goes to a house, perhaps the house of the same woman with the purple jacket, and begins to peek through the windows as the video ends. Our next series of videos switches over to a new file type. These files being designated by P or a DSLR camera. Our first clip is just of the woods at dusk, but the quality is already a stark contrast from what we've seen prior. And from here, we have a couple dozen videos from the P series. And it's immediately clear that this is from a different perspective. While in the DV and titled videos thus far, it seems that our cameraman is just an unnamed figure, the P videos are from the perspective of a young couple. A young couple that wants to start a YouTube channel, so they're vlogging their weekend camping trip in the woods. There will be more examples of this as we go on, but every time we have a different file format for a video, it is a different perspective. All of these stories will interconnect by the end analysis. But for now, this new narrative just seems to be taking place around the one we're familiar with. At the end of their video series, we'll hear the boyfriend refer to the girl as Elowen. I'm pretty sure I know what the boyfriend's name is, but it's a puzzle piece I'm going to save for later. But Elowen and her boyfriend are disgustingly cute. And I mean that in the worst way. I hate young love. Burn it. There's several out of order clips of them setting up their tent, or walking in the woods, or playing with ice. All the while joking without a worry in the world. However, we get a haunting reminder of what series we're watching, as while walking in the woods, they come across a pink ribbon. The same pink ribbon we saw tied to a tree back in the first DV video, reminding us that these two narratives are in a dangerously close proximity to each other. I have also heard several people refer to these two as friends when discussing them, which, no. Not to say guys and girls can't be friends and go camping or whatever, but with them specifically, if they're just friends...
You're pretty.
Then he should never upload this to the internet. The comments are going to destroy him. The P series is then suddenly interrupted by another video from our original cameraman's perspective. This video is titled Sleeping, and it's our cameraman once again outside of the same house from before, looking through the window as a woman is sleeping, a woman I believe to be the purple jacket girl. And the footage just consists of him looking at her, looking at the clock, noting it's 1:43 in the morning, and just watching her. She's quiet in bed. Right after this, we go back to the couple. A lot of the punches the series throws works really well. Like, for example, I can't watch this anymore on the original channel, but there's the compilation video on YouTube I mentioned earlier and the Internet Archive. Either way, as you're watching the videos, they autoplay one after another. So after watching over a dozen clips of a couple setting up at 10 and walking around in the woods and having a good time, bam, a woman sleeping in her bed and the perspective of a man looking through the blinds, and then right back into the couple. The entire series is told out of order, but it's in such an order that it delivers a different kind of impact. The highs and lows are balanced in such a way that it keeps the tension constant, while still delivering information in an order that lets you keep track of things and by the end, put it all together. When we jump back into the couple's story, as mentioned, all the clips we see are out of order. But from the clips we've seen so far, we can kind of get a general timeline. All the videos of them driving and playing around in the woods are from files like 40 to 80. But there's a few files we've seen that take place in the 30s, which of course would have been before this trip began. It seems that the boyfriend went to pick Elowen up, and before they left, she decided to walk her dog. Well, right after sleeping, when we come back to the couple, we see a clip that shows when they were walking the dog, they came across the 3-story house.
Who owns this house?
This establishes that the couple is not only close to our cameraman from the Stalker series, but that Elowen is his neighbor, close enough that she would walk into his yard while walking the dog. Also, the outside of the house looks abandoned. It's as if either no one is living there, or at least Elowen thinks no one's living there. After this, there's a brief shot of Elowen's dog looking off into the woods next to the 3-story house. Perhaps the dog sees something they don't. After that, we get more clips from the camping trip, which I have to say, I have no idea what their YouTube video is supposed to be about. Like, sure, I get no one's first video is their best, whatever, but they're just like breaking ice off of sticks and then like singing Britney Spears.
Go.
Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to?
Yo, don't say that.
However,
don't
something
think, and then
important
copyright,
happens
copyright.
when Elowen finds a tape next to the campsite.
Was this yours? Do I need to pack that, or is it like trash?
Whoa. What's that? Like a mini DV tape?
I guess.
Was this in the bag?
No, that was just sitting up by our stuff.
No, it's not mine, but I'll take it.
Okay.
He says it's a mini DV. What does that sound like? It seems that our cameraman from the other series, the one that has a house next to Elowen and the one that's been filming women in their bed, has left one of his tapes out here in the woods. Did he leave it here on accident? Was it left there for them to find on purpose? Once again, things to keep in mind. Before we switch back to the mini disc tapes, there's this really funny shot where it's just Elwyn walking on a road. And it's very awkward and she looks uncomfortable and there's no audio. So you know her boyfriend was just like, oh, go like walk on the road in front of the trees. It'll be a great aesthetic B-roll shot for our vlogumentary about our weekend camping trip, like 20 feet off the side of the road. And she looks so over it, which, by the way, later you see another perspective of their tent, and they really are like right off the side of the road, like next to houses. Babe, you don't get it. We're going to pull over on the side of the highway. There's this little clearing. Babe, it's going to do numbers. Our next video takes us back to the stalker's perspective. This time he seems to be in a small room with a concrete floor, like a garage or basement. In the room is a chair and dog bowl, but what's also in the room is a completely naked man with a bag on his head. It is there for a brief instance and then it's gone. While this isn't the first bad thing we've seen him do, I mean, we've seen him peer through a woman's window twice at this point, it certainly ups the stakes. Now there's some guy seemingly held against his will inside of this dude's house. Our cameraman begins to move through the house, and as he does, we can see the same dead raccoon lying on the floor that we saw earlier, letting us know that it's likely the man with the bag on his head, who I'll refer to here on out as Baghead, is being kept in the 3-story house. Our cameraman continues to move through the house until eventually he gets to a staircase, and as he turns up the staircase, he sees a figure in a black robe standing at the top. The camera glitches and we see a brief instance of someone saying,
Get in. Do you have a ladder?
And the video ends. So it seems there's more going on in this house than just a decomposing raccoon. Baghead is being kept there, and it seems that our stalker isn't alone, as we not only see the figure in the robe, but we also see that brief glimpse of someone asking if he knows how to get into a house. Quite possibly the house of the woman he was stalking earlier. So it seems this operation is much larger than just our cameraman. We'll see how large as we move on. Our next video seems to be shot on a stormy night, as our cameraman drives down mostly empty back roads. Is a guy walking with a package in his hand. This could be someone the cameraman knows or just someone walking at night. There's also these brief instances of what seems like a flashlight off in the distance. Whatever it is seems significant enough that at one point our cameraman pulls over, rolls down the window to record it. After this, we switch back to the perspective of Elwyn and her boyfriend. However, in this first clip, something seems off. Her boyfriend asks how she slept and she's too busy looking around. Something about her seems agitated.
Pretty nice, right? Without all the animals and shit. Did you sleep well?
I slept fine. I only woke up like a few times. Did you sleep okay?
What you looking at?
After this, we get a segment from the end of their hiking trip. When the two of them reach the car, Elwyn seems bothered about something. When her boyfriend asks what's up, she said she had a bad dream and heard what sounded like walking around the tent.
All right. Ready to get to it?
Yes.
This is McDonald's. What's up? What's wrong? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just having like weird dreams last night and they sort of bother me.
Well, like, what?
I don't want to.
Elwyn?
What?
You want me to stop the camera and we can talk about it?
This bothers her enough that her boyfriend seemingly shuts off the camera to talk about it. Our next video goes back to the stalker's perspective. It's also the longest video in the whole series, clocking in at 31 minutes. The video begins as usual with our cameraman filming just deer and birds as well as the outside of the 3-story house. At night, he walks inside of the building holding a flashlight, and we also once again see Baghead. In some moments crawling across the ground and others standing still, seemingly catatonic. I said it before regarding the stalking, but it also works really well here about how frightening these images are compared to everything we've seen until this point. The weight attributed to a man being tortured is the same attributed to a flower or a brick on the ground. It also creates this constant tension where we have no idea what the next jump cut will be. It suggests the idea that something bad is happening and our narrator is capable of anything. The cameraman continues to walk around the edges of old buildings. At one point he sees the silver car through the trees and fixates on it for a bit before he leaves. Then after this we see our cameraman driving and arriving at someone's home. It seems that our cameraman has driven to the house of a friend. As he's recording, we hear the friend talking about a class he's taking.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I mean, Class is kind of hard.
It seems that what's happening here is our cameraman is filming one side of the conversation, never capturing his own voice, but recording what his friend is saying. Because of that, we can put together some pieces of the conversation. Also, his friend is playing Honey Pop, so really there are two creeps in this room. Going off the half of the conversation we hear, the cameraman's friend is asking about a girl the cameraman mentioned to him. Perhaps our cameraman said that he was interested in this girl or began seeing her. So his friend asks,
So this girl is just fine with you, like, filming her? Or did you not tell her?
this establishes a couple of things. For one, it seems that our cameraman has a tendency to film everything. I mean, obviously, we've already seen that from the series, but it's to the degree that even his friend knows about it. And also, whoever this friend is, he's not privy to the fact that our cameraman has been filming girls while they sleep. Right after this, the cameraman's friend begins to ask about another person, saying that it's good our cameraman has found someone they can talk to because that's hard for them, but that he's worried about this person the cameraman's been hanging out with. Especially, as this person points out, the guy the cameraman's been hanging out with is high all the time. His friend then notices that the camera guy's been filming this whole time, and in his frustration, we finally get a name for our narrator.
You know he's always tweaked out shit, right? Alex, can you put the camera down for a minute? Turn it off. Is it off?
The guy who has been recording every video from the DV perspective is named Alex. Alex has a tendency to not talk to a lot of people, as well as a tendency to record everything. And Alex's friend is worried about this new person he's been hanging out with. He also says this to Alex.
It wasn't a roadkill.
We can only assume that Alex's friend is talking about the dead raccoon. So if Alex's friend thinks it's a huge deal that this guy might have killed a raccoon, then he has no idea what's going on. This friend then says that Alex should quit talking to whoever this bad influence is, and with that, we finally get their name.
Look, I don't want to do this project with Kevin anymore.
So it seems that Alex has trouble talking to people, likes to record things, even things he shouldn't. But whatever his shortcomings, his friend fears that Kevin is making Alex worse. This would make sense because we just saw from the footage inside of the abandoned house that there was someone else in a black robe in that house. Perhaps that figure is Kevin, or Kevin is just one of many figures within this group. We also get to mention that Kevin cares about this project. Perhaps the project is the reason Alex has been recording everything. And considering Alex's friend says, I don't want to work with Kevin on this project anymore, then it seems the friend was involved to some degree. But again, if he's freaked out about Kevin killing a raccoon, then he's not built for what he's actually doing. After this, our cameraman, who I can now finally quit calling the cameraman and just call Alex, continues to drive around and film random things. Eventually, in the midst of his driving, he comes to a couple of old gas stations. Once he gets to the second one, he gets out and walks around. As he's walking around, he fixates again on a silver car. Perhaps the same one from earlier, this time with the door open and someone speaking in front of it. Eventually, Alex begins to walk on a small trail behind the gas station. Eventually, he just starts filming the thick brush, a river, a pair of tennis shoes on the ground, an old pipe, some buckets. For whatever reason, he seems fixated on this one location. However, we then switch to footage of Alex at night. He walks down an old drainage pipe into the sewer, possibly the same sewer system that Elowen and her boyfriend were near earlier. This is seemingly confirmed as the next shots are of Elowen and her boyfriend's camp during their camp videos. At one point, after Alex seemingly loses breath climbing up a hillside, as he seems to be panting and the camera is moving up and down a lot, he looks through the trees and sees Elowen directly, wearing the same outfit we saw her in during the camping videos. The camera then cuts to late at night, Alex still watching their campsite. Eventually, he creeps up to them and shines a light on Elowen, recording her as she's sleeping. Just as Alex had to the woman in her house, Alex is recording Elowen as she sleeps, perhaps marking her as the next victim of whatever he and his people are planning. For one, this explains Elowen's bad dreams. She said she had dreams of footsteps around the campsite, and sure enough, they were real. And this also explains how the DV tape wound up at the campsite, as Alex was there with the DV camcorder. Now the question is, how did that tape get there? Did Alex drop it, or did he leave it there for some reason? Of course, we can't be sure until we know it's on the tape. We then see Alex meeting someone outside of their house. They exit their house in a tracksuit. I've tried to match this house to ones we see elsewhere throughout the series, and I don't think there's a match. I think this may just be someone else who works with Alex and knows what he's doing. After this, Alex is back in the 3-story house, and we once again get footage of the dead raccoon, only this time it is much, much further along in its decomposition. Merely thin black flesh robed over a skeleton. Again, this entire series is told out of order. Until you get to the end and piece together all the file names, you're not sure what happens when. But weirdly enough, the decomposing raccoon acts as a kind of sundial. Given its stage of decomposition, you have a general sense of where you are in the timeline. Because after this, when we see the raccoon again and it's more freshly dead, we know that it's earlier than the events we're currently witnessing. Morbid, of course, but effective. We then get more shots from the inside of Baghead's room. It seems that Baghead has bleach for some reason, as well as a bucket they go to the bathroom in. We then get footage of Alex standing outside before he pans down to see Baghead walking around outside in the daylight. Again, there's not a ton of things online that really pull off the effectiveness of this. You go from looking at nature to seeing a naked man walking around with a bloodied bag on his head. And then, I kid you not, it hard cuts into a turtle. And Alex gets footage of this turtle for longer than he recorded, again, the naked guy with a bloody bag on his head. After this, we get footage of discarded pink gloves and what appears to be an open pit next to a construction site. At this construction site, we see the same tarp from earlier in the series with 514 painted across it, as well as the pink ribbon tied in the trees. Meaning this is the same location that Alex visited early on. Shortly after, we see why. As Baghead drags a black bag to the pit, the footage of this cutting midway and transitioning into the next video titled Clap 1, which shows Baghead throwing the bag into the muddy pit. And while you may guess correctly what's in the bag, you don't have to wonder for long, as we can see Baghead walking away with a purple jacket. The same purple jacket from the woman Alex was stalking back in the mall. This video gave us a ton of information. Alex is the guy recording these videos, and Kevin seems to be the one, at least according to Alex's friend, who is influencing Alex to do wrong. Or at least as far as the friend's aware. There's some sort of project that Kevin and Alex are a part of, and seemingly other people are a part of it too, even if they don't know its full extent, like Alex's friend. From Baghead dumping the body of the woman from the mall, we can see that part of this project or group entails stalking and kidnapping women and seemingly murdering them. After which their bodies are seemingly hucked into the woods. This could be part of the reason Alex records random rivers, lakes, construction sites, or abandoned buildings on the outskirts of town. They're all body dumps. And since Baghead was the one ditching the body, either he's a part of this group or project, or he is doing this against his will. Also, what does this mean for Elowen, the other woman Alex was recording? Questions are being answered, but there are still many to be solved as we move further. After this, we get a video titled Rot. Appropriately, it opens on the image of the rotting raccoon. However, this time its decomposition is much earlier than we last saw it, meaning what we're seeing now is earlier in the timeline. We also finally get to see what the writing underneath the raccoon says. It reads, "Please, God is watching." There's more writing above it we won't learn about until later. We then see Alex walking around the top of the 3-story building before he hears a voice from downstairs and the video ends. Our next video is called Clap 2. If you'll remember, the short clip that showed Baghead throwing a body into the mud pit was called Clap 1. Clap 2 seems to be much more stylized than Alex's previous recordings. A sort of synth tone plays over the video, and our initial cut seems to be from the perspective of someone dragging something heavy down a hallway. Based off Clap 1, this might be footage of a body. At the very end of this cut, we see someone moving in the darkness. We then cut to what looks like a ton of blood and gore, as someone in a yellow latex suit with gloves cleans it up, taking care to discard the remains and use bleach, the same bleach we saw on Baghead's floor earlier, to ensure there is no evidence of the mess left behind. We then get more clips of the 3-story house from outside, blood on the ground, and what appears to be the same homeless people from earlier. So it seems where Clap 1 showed us the disposal of a body, Clap 2 is showing us the cleanup of a body. Someone, perhaps Alex, considering he was the one filming, drags the body away and the blood is cleaned up. I think the footage at the outside of the house goes to say, as you can imagine, most of this takes place inside of the house, and perhaps the footage at the end of the homeless people on a bench are to show us the targets. People who it is easy to make disappear. Perhaps everyone that Alex has recorded has been a potential victim. After this, we get another series of tapes from Elowen and her boyfriend. In the midst of one of them, we hear something interesting.
I've never been in this tunnel. I've been down here before. This is actually by the school.
So since the area they're camping, and therefore the area Alex has walked through is near a school, then we can assume all the shots Alex has taken of a school bus in a parking lot are from times Alex was stalking them or at least in the area. Through this section of videos, we get the end of Elowen and her boyfriend's camping perspective. And while not a lot is learned through this section, it is cool because once you unscramble all of these, it creates one cohesive narrative. Or at least, you know, the cringy 2014 era YouTube comedy is in order.
My anaconda don't want none unless you got vlogging.
After this, we get a video once again from Alex's perspective. This video has a title, RLMR. I have no idea what RLMR means. I've looked it up. It doesn't seem to be text speak or like an abbreviation or anything. It doesn't look to be an anagram for anything. Maybe it's like someone's initials, but I don't know. Regardless, the video seemed important enough to Alex or whoever's uploading these to title it. In the footage, it seems Alex is walking down a road at night, but he's not alone. As in the very beginning, we hear a girl say this.
But he would just climb into people's windows.
Alex just caught the end of the conversation, but it seems she was talking about someone climbing into people's windows. This could be a reference to any story of a stalker or killer, but is more likely in reference to Kevin or someone else from the project. Either if she's just heard rumors or knows what the group is up to remains unknown. While Alex and the girl are standing there, Alex sees a light off in the woods. The girl lights a cigarette and the two begin to walk through the darkness. As they walk, despite the darkness, the girl is telling a casual story about an experience she had on a vacation. This is followed by shots of the lake at night and a dark silhouette. Given that lakes and waterways seem to be a sort of dumping ground, does this mean Alex took this girl out here to kill her? Well, if that's the case, then how was she so calm? Our next video is titled Gray. Alex seems to be in the passenger seat of someone's car, riding through town. I've seen people argue that this car is the same car Elowen and her boyfriend were in at the end of the camping storyline, but if you look at that footage, the inside of their car is clearly a two-tone like tan and brown, and the inside of this car is, as the title says, gray. There's a conversation in the beginning that is very distorted. From what little can be pieced together, it sounds like they're talking about drugs and asking how long it takes them to kick in. And from there, the rest of the video is just a shot out of the passenger window as fast music plays as they drive through town. Now, earlier when Alex went to his friend's house, his friend said that Kevin's always on drugs. And since this is from Alex's perspective and he's seemingly sitting in a car doing drugs, we can assume that it's Kevin he's with. So even though Kevin and Alex are part of some project that is killing women, the two of them still do things like ride around town and get high. Again, the casual tone of the events being depicted make them all the more sinister. Speaking of sinister, our next video is titled Pills. In the beginning of this one, it seems to pick up right where Rod ended, with Alex in the top of the 3-story house hearing someone downstairs. We then hear a voice saying, "You will follow the instructions I give you." And with that, we get the most memorable imagery from the entire series.
It's time to go.
So from the title of this video being Pills to Kevin saying "you will follow my instructions," it seems we now understand what Baghead is. All of the women we've encountered so far are killed by the project. And while some of the men might also be killed, it seems that at least this one was turned into a slave, made to take some kind of pill that made them susceptible to control, likely combined with the conditioning of being kept in a dark basement. We also hear the commands that Baghead is made to follow. 1 clap means Baghead is to bury the bag or the body bag, as we saw in the video titled Clap 1. 2 claps means it's time to clean up. Again, the cleanup we saw during the crime scene cleanup in Clap 2. 3 claps is hard to make out. It sounds like he says something needs to or something needs to be. And then 4 claps means it's time to go. Perhaps 4 claps is what happened to Baghead here, as he's being led out to a field by Kevin, who is holding a sledgehammer, which would explain his bloodied head we see lying on the ground later. Perhaps whoever Baghead was, people became suspicious, or people began to look for him. So Kevin and Alex couldn't have him around the house, so they had to get rid of him, causing them to take Baghead out to a field and kill him. I've seen some people be critical of the story and say this is kind of where they got off. Like everything up until this point is a stalker and people trying to kill each other. And the addition of mind-controlled drugs does add a layer of the fantastical to the story, but it doesn't really go further than this, and I think the idea of a bag-headed slave made to clean up bodies is cool and, dare I say, creepy. It also gives us an idea of how advanced this project of Kevin's is. If they're not just killing people, but they're like learning ways to manipulate people into cleaning up crime scenes for them. Whatever this is, it seems to run deep. After this, we begin a series of videos from a new perspective. As several of the upcoming videos will start with the file name DSCF, which denotes videos taken on a digital camera. Similar to Elowin's videos, these start off completely harmless. From the voice we hear speaking to dogs early on, it seems that these videos are from the perspective of a young girl. To clarify, I mean young as in like early 20s or college age, not young as in child. Thankfully, the series doesn't go there, I think. In one of the early clips, we hear her say it's nice to be trusted with the boys, but that it can be scary to be alone, whatever that means. She also records footage of a vinyl spinning on a record player. The vinyl is playing the song Corridor of Dreams by the Cleaners from Venus. Whoever this girl is, she seems to be a sort of romantic, or to at least be smitten by something or someone. After this, we get another named video from Alex's perspective. This video is titled Burn. The opening of Burn seems to be in the woods at night, and we hear a girl say, considering that we know a sledgehammer is the weapon Kevin used to kill Baghead, we can assume that this girl is in on whatever the project is, offering to carry the murder weapon. This might have been the night that Baghead was murdered. We then see gloved hands burning a Polaroid photo. After the fire's been extinguished, the hand picks up the photo and crumbles it between its fingers. From a brief glimpse of the photo we get before it burns, we can see that it's the blurry image of a woman who's been killed, lying on the ground, her face bloodied. But if we look at the outfit in the photograph, as well as a dark shot we see for a few seconds before the image is introduced, we can see that the victim is the same girl from the beginning of the video who asked to carry the sledgehammer, meaning whoever this was likely in the know on what the project was up to. Perhaps even being a part of it herself before she was murdered. Either she didn't know what the group was up to and she was always a victim, or the group is tying up loose ends. Our next series of videos takes us back to the DSCF perspective, and it just looks like a series of videos a girl would record with her handheld camera. Her with her friends at the lake, her with a couple of younger boys, perhaps her younger brothers or kids she's babysitting. Footage that would be completely harmless were it not in this series. However, that is until you get to tape DSCF-0024, which is 50 seconds of darkness in the woods. Until the camera focuses on what might be a pool of blood, it's hard to tell, but the setting, as well as the darkness and the woods and the quiet nature of the shots, implies that something nefarious and certainly less cheery is going on than the previous shots we've seen from this perspective. Perhaps whatever girl was recording these videos wasn't so harmless after all. After this, we get more footage from Alex's perspective. He gets footage of cats, chickens, a house that he's potentially stalking. You know, normal extracurricular stuff. We then get footage of what seems to be a sludge of flies. Perhaps this is some container that something is rotting or decomposing inside of. Something infested with sickness and death. We get more footage of the woods at night. Footage of what appears to be a black bag that earlier we saw a body inside of. And then we once again see that light out in the darkness, only this time Alex approaches it. What he finds is this: a man in a dark robe holding the light. His face a sort of plastic mask that makes him seem like a mannequin. I believe this figure to be Kevin, draped in a dark robe with a light, preparing for a killing. This is the same light that Alex has seen in the darkness a couple of times up until this point. The time he was driving down the road, saw it, pulled over and rolled down his window. Or the time he was with the girl in the parking lot at night and saw it before he began leading the girl towards it. Perhaps this mask, robe, and light are the things Kevin dons before a killing. Speaking of that parking lot at night, our next video is once again from the girl with the DSCF perspective. However, this footage appears to be from a parking lot at night. Perhaps the same parking lot we saw at the beginning of RMLR. That would mean that this short clip that doesn't have any audio is from the perspective of the girl Alex led into the woods that night and I believe murdered. So that means the girl from the DSCF tapes is the same girl who was in the parking lot with Alex. Which means my suspicions about the DSCF having the weird footage of the ground at night and potentially a pool of blood means they're up to something. because the girl who was there with Alex certainly knew what the group was up to. I'll take it further and say I believe this girl to be the same girl who was asking Kevin to hold a sledgehammer and was then murdered before her Polaroid shot was taken and burned. So this girl was a part of the project along with Kevin and Alex, was a part of the killings, but then was killed herself for some reason. Why? Things to keep in mind as we move on. The next video is titled 19/05/2016, which is a date that corresponds with May the 19th, 2016. This footage is from the perspective of a Nest security camera. It's 1 minute long and the only thing we see is headlights appear in front of the house. Perhaps someone stopping by who is up to no good. I've tried to match the front layout of this house with some of the other houses we see, like the greenhouse that Alex was stalking, or the house that his friend in the sweatsuit came out of. I can't definitively match it to any, but if it's the security camera of a house in this series, that probably means that something bad is going to happen there. Actually, wait, okay, while I was sitting here recording, I have the footage pulled up to the side, and I was looking at it back and forth to make sure I'm on the right place as I talk. Dude, okay, the front of this house from the Nest camera is the front of Elowen's house. And that makes so much sense because when you make all of the Elowen boyfriend camping storyline chronological, the first clip is like a 20-second clip of him waiting on her at the front of her house. And it makes sense why that's there now. It's so you can match it up to this security camera footage. Oh my gosh. Oh no, but if that's her house, that means, oh no. Oh gosh, this series is so brutal. Okay. Our next clip is called Vulture, and this gives us a ton of information. The footage begins with vultures eating something dead in the middle of a road, interlaced with images of a concrete floor being sprayed off, likely the aftermath of one of the project's victims. Just like in Pills, we hear a droning noise as Kevin is speaking.
I've noticed you've been aloof lately. You like this, don't you? My neighbor. I've had my eye on her for some time now. I will have her and you can pick up the scraps, like a vulture.
This is laced with some graphic images, one of which I believe shows someone slamming their hand with a knife, and footage of what appears to be Kevin outside of a farmhouse. The same house Alex was recording outside of earlier when he got footage of the cats and the chickens. It seems that Alex began to footage this house and eventually Kevin marked it as a target. Kevin continues to speak and says, I've had my eye on her for a while. When I'm done, you can pick up the scraps. Like a vulture. So initially, you may think this neighbor girl he's interested in is one of the girls he was stalking earlier. But I think it's Elowen. Because if you'll remember, back when Elowen was walking her dog at the beginning of her storyline, her dog walked into the yard of the 3-story house. Just as I realized a moment ago, they didn't show us a shot of the front of Elowen's house for no reason. It mattered later to connect it to the security camera. I don't think they would have mentioned that Elowen lives next to the 3-story house if it didn't matter here when Kevin mentions the neighbor girl. So it seems that Alex is interested in Elowen. This seems apparent from him stalking and recording her. But Kevin says he's been interested in her for some time, and when he's done with her, Alex can have the scraps. After Kevin is done speaking, we see this. I believe these are glimpses of part of the project's killings. We don't know what the project is for sure, but we know it involves killing people, we know it involves converting someone into Baghead, and it has things like recording and Polaroids. It makes sense that there would be an air of regalia attached to their murders. We've already seen what Kevin wears, a giant black wizard's cloak, with, a plastic face attached. It makes sense that others in the project would dress the same. We see glimpses of a long flowing dress, a red mask. There's a sacredcy and a presentation to these killings. Speaking of killings, our next video is titled Alex. In the beginning of Alex, the camera is fixed on a dark corner in the unfinished house. It seems that Alex isn't holding the camera. It's simply lying on the ground, slightly crooked. As the camera aims at the corner, we hear someone moaning and crying out in pain, louder and louder. Suddenly, a dark shape, cloaked in black, stands up from the corner. If the outfit is anything to go on, this must be Kevin. This is followed by the whole screen turning to an image of a guy being impaled through the throat. It's not real, I think. I'm pretty sure it's still just, fake, made for the series. I don't think it's like a live leak screenshot, but it looks really good / bad. Like I said, viewer discretion for this whole thing. It's funny how people are like, I bet the series got kicked off of YouTube because it was real, or like a real person was convicted in these crimes. And then you watch the series and it's like super graphic images and complete naked people swinging around. And it's like, okay, well, that was probably it. After this, we finally see the full writing next to the decomposing raccoon in the 3-story building. It reads, "Please don't steal my tapes. Please. God is watching." This will be super important for my end analysis, but for now we're just going to move on. Our next video is titled 26/05/2016. This is again from the perspective of the Nest security camera. It takes place 1 week after the last. We see a girl walking into her home, and while yes, I did just figure out this is Elowyn's house, I don't think that's Elowyn. The hair is kind of the same length, but this person looks older, whoever they are, so perhaps Elowyn's mom. But this video is just 10 seconds of her entering the house, and then the video ends. Our next video is titled Suits. This is again from Alex's perspective. He's walking down the road and works his way through the trees until he gets to a crime scene. He waits for a moment before 2 detectives make their way down the path. The men are far off and it's hard to understand what they're saying, but I can at least make out the words second body and girl. Also, when they lift a sheet from the victim, they seem to be repulsed by what they find. It seems that the police have begun to find the bodies that the project has been burying. And considering they're out in the woods, perhaps this is the Purple Jacket Girl, or at least in the same region as the Purple Jacket Girl. And again, as mentioned, there is the note of a second body, meaning the police are starting to find several of the group's victims. As he always does, Alex seemingly gets distracted midway through and starts recording the treetops, and then goes back to filming, the police looking at the body that he helped put there. Alex then records his walk home, before we get the brief glimpse of what appears to be a black tarp, wet under candlelight. So the police have begun to catch on to these killings. The consequences of this will be apparent soon. From here, for now, we switch back to the girl with the DSCF perspective. I know earlier I said she dies being killed by the group, and I still stand by that, but remember, this series is told out of order. I'm also, so I can quit calling her the girl from the DSCF perspective, I'm just going to call her Cigarette. Since the most notable thing I've seen her do other than die is hold a cigarette. We again get a series of videos from her perspective, walking through a cemetery, recording an old mattress in the woods, recording an area that's being logged. Also, in one of my most convincing pieces of evidence that this cigarette girl is the same cigarette girl from the parking lot who I believe gets killed by Kevin. In DSCF 0772, we see her standing outside at night, and what does she do? She smokes a cigarette. After this, we see that she was walking through the cemetery with a friend, the two of them seemingly learning how to use the digital camera. It's after Cigarette hands the camera to her friend that she says one of the most revealing things in the entire series that lays the groundwork for nearly all of the analysis that will come after. And she says it in the most nonchalant way.
It just frustrates me how much attention Kevin gives Alex. It's like, I don't even know what he sees in him. The dude doesn't even talk, he just records random ass shit. Well, isn't Alex autistic or something? I think Kevin's just being kind of nice to him. It's not even like that.
Okay. This does so much. For one, clearly, plainly, no obstruction about it. Cigarette knows what Kevin and Alex are up to. She went out there that night with them willingly. She offered to carry the sledgehammer knowing what they were doing, and ultimately they betrayed her. She also seems to be jealous of the attention Kevin is giving Alex. She is likely in love or infatuated with Kevin. This would explain her loyalty to the project and how she got roped into it in the first place. But more importantly, we get the mention that Alex is autistic. Or at least Cigarette's friend says, isn't he like autistic? Autism may not be the official diagnosis, but there is something different about him mentally. We've kind of seen hints of this. Alex's friend says he has trouble talking to people. And as mentioned, he records everything compulsively. But with the mention that Alex may be mentally unwell and Kevin is interested in him, this is no longer an evil guy finding a worse influence. This might be someone who's mentally unwell being taken advantage of. And then right after that, Cigarette drops another bombshell.
He hasn't been around lately. Like, Kevin has just been filming his own stuff without him. I think they got into like a fight or something.
This makes everything fit so much easier. See, when I got to the end of the series and I was trying to lay all of these out in order, I kept hitting complications. Because of my theories you'll hear in a moment, Alex couldn't have recorded everything we see, at least from the DV perspective. But Cigarette says here that they got into a fight and now Kevin is recording his own things. That means for the handheld mini DV tapes, there are two cameramen, Alex and sometimes Kevin. I also think we hear in the rest of this tape the reason the project murdered Cigarette.
Just about things we've been doing. I think he's like worried that Alex is gonna tell people stuff.
People stuff about like what? What have you guys been doing?
Nothing, just like
Because
it's none of anyone's business really.
It seems that Cigarette got upset at Kevin and started saying way too much. I think that since Kevin is so invested with the project, he began handing out cameras to members of the group to record everything they were doing, especially the killings. This is probably why he was so infatuated with Alex, because Alex did that anyway. So it's likely that Kevin saw the same tapes from Cigarette that we're seeing now and saw that she started telling random people way too much. Off of just what we heard, this random girl now knows that Kevin and Alex are having a fight, and Kevin is worried that Alex will tell people about what they're doing. Keep in mind, this is in the midst of the police finding the bodies and an investigation. So if Kevin's tying up loose ends, then Cigarette's one of them. Also, when she said she thinks Kevin and Alex got into a fight, I think that's an understatement. I also think in Cigarette's footage, we see exactly what she brought to the project. Most of the videos are of her talking to other girls her age, walking around in the woods. I think that she was probably the bait, luring in girls her own age to be murdered. Tragically, this aligns with a lot of criminal cases in the real world, as a man manipulates a woman to bring him victims. Manipulation being a trait we already knew Kevin had due to his relationship with Alex, someone he could take advantage of. That video line seems to be the end of Cigarette's perspective, and like I said, I think we know how she ends up. Our next video switches back to Kevin's perspective with a catch. This video is titled DV100115. This is significant because earlier, the 30-minute video was also called DV100115. I believe as we're going to see, this is still Alex recording, but going off of what Cigarette said about Kevin, this implies that there are two cameras. In this footage, Alex walks around on a rainy day, getting a lot of shots of old cemeteries, walking through people's backyards. He gets footage of a smashed worm and a dead animal, ultimately filming the sky until night falls. We then get footage of Cigarette at the fire. She talks about how she likes watching things burn, which is like the most normal thing she's done. And after some footage of the lake, we hear this.
This is not fucking killing if you don't have that tape, right? We're supposed to know you didn't go to someone with it. Where the fuck are you going?
So this seems like it's from Alex's perspective. I mean, it makes sense. It's a DV file, right? But that's Cigarette speaking. She's saying that someone, likely Kevin, is going to get mad if he doesn't have that tape. And then asking, how do we know you didn't go to someone with it? So she's mad because Alex has left a tape. Likely a tape of something they've done. More than likely, a tape we haven't seen of the project killing someone. And Alex has seemingly misplaced that tape. Well, where have we seen one of Alex's tapes pop up? That's right. The tape that Elwin found back at the campsite. So that night, Alex, while stalking Elwin, someone that we know he and Kevin was interested in, Alex left a tape at that campsite for them to find. But why? We're almost to the end. Just hold on to that. Our next video is titled Smut. And similar to videos like Pills, it seems to be far more edited. The video opens with footage of animal bones before it cuts to a white sheet in a field. Heavy droning music plays as the sheet begins to move. A person crawling around unnaturally on all fours. We then cut to footage inside of the 3-story house. We see someone walking around in a wedding dress next to what appears to be Kevin in his plastic mask. Between the woman in the dress and the person in the white sheet, it seems these may be victims of Kevin's control. We then see footage of what appears to be from inside of a shed at the back of the 3-story house. But before we do, we get this horrifying still. I assume this is one of the members of the project. Like, you know, they dress in regalia and go on killings and all that. This is like the worst mask ever. I hate it so much. On the wall of the shed, we can see the Polaroids of several victims, most of which refer to women in derogatory terms such as slut, and show them in various positions of torture and murder. Notably, there's a Polaroid of the dead raccoon that is labeled Cat 1 to 6. If you'll remember, that's the same name as the YouTube video that first showed off the dead raccoon, implying that not only did the project kill the raccoon, but whoever uploaded that video also wrote the name on this Polaroid. We also see a Polaroid of the figure in the black gown with the plastic mask next to someone in a wedding dress that is labeled Kevin with company. This confirms for me that the figure in the black robe is Kevin. We see here that their victims are referred to as company. There's also a Polaroid of the figure in the dress bowing down to Kevin. This could be a member of the project that idolizes him, or more hauntingly, if the men that are placed under hypnotic control are forced to clean up bodies, then it's likely the women under Kevin's control are forced to do much worse. The next video is titled Prolapse. And it's that, I think. I'm going to censor it even more than how censored it is in the video, but it's like a super blurry image of what I think is a prolapse being stabbed a bunch with someone screaming really loud. It sounds like a guy screaming, so maybe this is part of the process to make someone into a baghead. Maybe this is just torture. I don't know. It's gross. The next video is titled IMG 8066. This is footage taken from a phone, and as we're going to see, a new perspective. It is 15 seconds of a black screen, but what we hear is interesting.
I just say, oh yeah, it's just some autistic kid. I mean, that's not an excuse. I'm trying not to get the police involved here. What am I supposed to do? Understand that it's your house, it's your face on the tape, no? You're recording that? No, I'm not recording.
So we have someone speaking to someone else about an autistic person, definitely Alex, but saying that regardless of that, it's no excuse. And whatever it is that's going on, this person is going to get the police involved. This didn't make a lot of sense to me until I listened closely to the voice. I believe the person speaking is Elowen's boyfriend.
It's cold, but there's no animals. I just say, oh yeah, it's just some autistic kid. I mean, that's not an excuse.
So we have Elowen's boyfriend trying to find out something about Alex, but why? Probably because of the mini DV tape Alex left at their campsite. Her boyfriend found it, watched it, and as you can imagine, became concerned. He probably thought it was some kind of experimental horror movie thing and wasn't entirely sure it was real, but he wants answers. So he's gone to a friend of Alex's. A friend who has his house and his face on Alex's tape. I believe it is the same friend that Alex went to earlier. The one who told him he should stay away from Kevin, that he didn't like the project. As a matter of fact, the tape in which Alex went to his house was DV100115, the same one that there is a duplicate of later. And at the end of 100-115, we see Baghead throwing Purple Jacket Girl's body into the construction pit. So perhaps this is the tape that Elowen's boyfriend saw that got him so concerned. So he goes to Alex's friend who he saw in the video to try to get answers. And when he gets there, in case something goes down, records the conversation. With that context, listen to that conversation again.
I just say, oh yeah, it's just some autistic kid. I mean, that's not an excuse. I'm trying not to get the police involved here. What am I supposed to do? Understand that it's your house, it's your face on the tape, no? You're recording that? No, I'm not recording.
This is the only scenario here that makes sense to me. Otherwise, I have no idea what's going on. Not that it would be a first. After that, our next video switches back to Alex's perspective. It begins as he's just driving on roads through town. He passes the school bus and church parking lot with the cemetery we've seen a few times at this point, likely because bodies are dumped around the area, and as mentioned earlier, this is near the area where Elowen and her boyfriend went camping. He zooms in on a white truck and eventually parks at a gas station. While he is at the gas station, Elowen comes outside and walks up to him and says this.
What were you doing parked? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were somebody else.
So Elowen runs up to Alex's car and when he rolls down the window, says she thought that he was someone else. Ask yourself this. Why would you mistake someone for someone you know in a parking lot? Because they're driving the same car. That's the only way you would think you recognize someone, and then when they roll down their window, you realize you're mistaken. Keep that in mind. After that, we get another video from Elowen's boyfriend's perspective that, to me, ties a lot of things together. This video is once again taken on a smartphone. From the inside of the car we see at the beginning, we can match it up to the inside of the car from him and his girlfriend's camping trip. Same two-tone interior, same windows, same handles, same side mirrors. When he steps out, we even see that it's the same gold color. So we are once again getting a video from the perspective of Elowen's boyfriend. The title of his previous video was 8066, and this one is 8067, meaning right after having the conversation with Alex's friend, he has driven here. We're about to find out where here is right now. If you look at the yard and driveway as he's walking, it might look familiar. And as he approaches the front door and knocks, if you look at the brick around him, it might look even more familiar. Elowen's boyfriend has gone to the 3-story house. He saw the video, he spoke to Alex's friend, maybe hoping it was a joke, and I'm sure Alex's friend assured him that Alex wouldn't be capable of something like that. So he decided to go to the house that Alex, Kevin, Baghead, and the rest of the project are in, not knowing that he was walking into a monster. Eventually, no one comes to the door, so he lets himself in.
Alex?
Sorry guys, I'm kind of tired, but I'm not fully tired. Kind of like that type of tired I was in that Minecraft video type of tired where I'm over here falling asleep in the middle of it. Like I'm not that tired. I'm just kind of. I got another video to do after this. Don't I have to? Because I have a lot of things to do tomorrow, and I still got things to do today. Technically, tomorrow, today. I still got a lot of things to do, got a lot of things to think, and I'm like, can I make the video tomorrow? Like, it's gonna be a half part anyway. I don't know how long that game is. Kind of like, I gotta see this through. I didn't think about this all the way anyway, so what's even the point? I might as well just keep on going, enjoy myself, then make myself do some homework and just try to play a game tomorrow. Because if I don't play a game tomorrow, I really don't have time to play anything else with you guys, because um yeah, I don't really have time to play anything else like with you guys. I have to. This whole month is kind of crazy. So it's kind of crazy. So I'm tired, but it's okay. Yeah, so just doing some thinking, but yeah, it's time for freshman year. So I just need to. But yeah, I'll keep the video playing for you guys. And yeah, I think I'm just emotionally tired, like drained of my creativity. And maybe if I just take a good 10-minute break to do some homework, I'll be like, okay, I can do like at least 20 to 10 minutes of this game. I'll be back.
Alex?
Oh, wait, never mind. I actually want to know what's going on here, so guess I'll be back. Remember, always clean your area. Trust me, it's way better. Also, make your bed every day in the morning. Just like honestly, it's so much better. Hope you guys like him. He's kind of a character I made. Um, he has a lot of problems. He's he's kind of like Alex, but he's not really autistic, which is nothing wrong with being autistic. Really nothing wrong. Honestly, I think I'm kind of autistic. I keep saying artistic. I have a speech impediment, so that's why I keep doing all that. But yeah, basically, he just has anger issues. That's it. And I don't actually have anger issues. I know like a lot of people will be like, so this is your OC? This is your OC? This is how you see yourself? Not at all actually. And actually I'm quite proud of him because he used to be my OC until I realized I want something better. I want a character. So I made him. Basically, he was based on my OC, but yeah. Yeah. He he's his own character. He's not me. I honestly I don't relate to this guy at all. But that's why I love him so much, cuz I love him so much. I don't relate to him. I hope he relates to somebody. Guy. Hey, that guy is like me.
Hey, dude. My name's Matt. I just want to talk to you for a second. I talked to your friend Liam. Can I talk to you for a second?
For one, due to the unfinished walls we see around him, this is certainly the three-story house. But also, we finally have a name for Elowen's boyfriend, Matt. This is the reason I've been calling him Elowen's boyfriend this long. And earlier I said that I think I know his name, but it relates to like in theory and stuff. I guess I could have just called him Matt and then explained I think he's Matt because of this moment. But I'm not re-recording all that, so. And this also gives us the name of Alex's friend who he visited earlier, Liam. As Matt walks into the house, he assures Alex that he just wants to talk, that Alex isn't in any trouble. He cautiously calls out to see if Kevin's there, until this happens.
Alex, dude, Liam sent me. Okay? Can you come out here for a second?
It seems that something struck Matt, killing him. Likely, considering the sound of trickling blood that follows, a sledgehammer. So Matt went to the three-story house and has now become another victim of the project, another victim of Kevin. After this, the screen is black, but we hear something crawling around, getting closer, until eventually we hear three claps symbolizing that the bag head is needed. From here, we hear Matt's body be dragged away. If you'll remember, 3 claps was the clap we didn't hear what it means. Perhaps instead of disposing the body or cleaning up, they have some use for Matt's body. Regardless, it was enough to cause the bag head to appear and drag off the corpse. What follows is 10 minutes of silence before someone, most likely Kevin, walks back to the scene of the murder and finds Matt's phone, ending the video. This explains how Matt and Elowen's videos came into the possession of whoever's uploading these. I mean, as mentioned earlier, the channel is called Kept Here. It's as if it's a personal storage. The reason we were seeing Matt and Elowen's videos earlier is because Matt probably had all that footage in his car, and whoever's uploading these, likely Kevin, decided to upload their footage as well. The penultimate video is titled End. The footage begins by showing us Matt's car on the side of the road. It seems that this is once again from the mini DV or Alex's perspective. And since, Matt died with his car in their driveway, people were probably going to come looking. So it seems they're ditching his car in the middle of nowhere. This also ties into why Elowen confused Alex for Matt earlier. As again, seemingly, Alex was infatuated with Elowen. So after her boyfriend was dead and he was disposing of the car, he drove the car to a gas station where he knew she'd be. And driving her dead boyfriend's car, who she doesn't know is dead yet, she runs up to the window to greet Matt, realizes it's Alex, apologizes, and walks away. Alex gets footage of blood on the ground, followed by footage of a light walking around in the darkness, likely Kevin. And then the video ends as the flashlight makes its way back to the car. This is most likely Kevin disposing of Matt's body. I don't know why he didn't have the baghead do it, but maybe it was already a little too high vis. There was too much evidence pointing Matt's killing towards them, or at least the house. So maybe it would have been too risky to bring the baghead this time, and he had to do it discreetly.
Maybe it was
Also,
a bad
yes,
person,
earlier in the series, they killed the baghead. But for one, the whole series is out of order, so they might have murdered the baghead later. Or I don't know how complicated it is to make a baghead. Maybe they made a new one. Maybe that's what prolapse was. You have to torture people in that way to make bagheads. How would you know? You've never tried. With that, we are taken to the last upload in the series, at least the last upload before the YouTube channel got nuked into orbit. That video is titled Old House. Old House is simply silent footage of someone walking through an old house. From some of the details we see, this appears to be the three-story house.
Sorry if it seems like I'm not paying attention. I am paying attention. I'm just making a thumbnail for this video. And also the other video I made. Because I have an idea, and I don't want to waste it.
Only it is far older than last we saw. Leaves pile the ground, things are covered in a layer of dust. Mud dauber nests and spider webs clutter the area. It seems that this is the three-story house we were familiar with, but after some time has passed. Without spectacle or note, with that, the series ends. So that was every video of Kepther, at least every one I know of. Maybe one got deleted somewhere along the line and I can't find it. I'm doing my best. But if there is a way to make it cohesive, then what is it? I mean, what did all of that mean? Well, let's talk about it. So the core difference that establishes my framing of the series is the fact that Kevin is taking advantage of Alex. Sometime before the series began, Kevin got Alex on board to this project. We don't ever hear a clear layout of what it is, but we certainly have signs. People like Cigarette are inducted to bring in new victims. Some are murdered, some are turned into puppets. The moments captured on a Polaroid, their bodies dumped, and all of it recorded. Perhaps Alex always had an interest in recording things, and that's what made Kevin seek him out. When you line up all of the shots chronologically, it kind of leans into this slow descent. It starts off with Alex and Cigarette around a campfire. Then there's footage of the dead raccoon. Then there's them stalking women, and then the murders begin. Which I actually think this person we see by the campfire all the way at the beginning of the series, I believe this is Kevin because it's the same voice heard in Vultures and Pills.
Dude, do you mind putting the camera down for a minute?
You like this, don't you? My neighbor. You've taken the pills and you're on mine now. You will follow the instructions I give you.
But we actually see this person one more time, albeit briefly. At the end of the 43rd upload, DV100112, right after we see Kevin in a black robe at the top of the stairs, the camera glitches into this guy.
Get in. Do you have a ladder?
I believe that this is also Kevin. So Kevin's been there every step of the way. I believe this conversation on the porch to be outside of the house that Alex was stalking. So if Kevin's been manipulating Alex, and Alex is having his hand forced at each turn, then what all has Alex actually done? Because if I'm right about my theory here, and him stalking this woman was just at Kevin's pressure so she could eventually be a victim, then otherwise, the only thing he's done is document this. Obviously, he's a willing participant, but we don't know how far his mental illness goes. We don't know how far he's being puppeted. The one thing we do know that he does is have an interest in Elowen. After all, in Vultures, Kevin said Alex likes her. But then Kevin says that he wants her first and then Alex can have the scraps, of course, implying that she'll be killed. So with that, what does Alex do? He leaves her a tape. Despite living next door to her, he can go over at any time. He chooses not to do that. Instead, he finds her and her boyfriend and leaves them a tape. A tape that Matt should have taken to the police, but didn't. I think that Alex feared Kevin and Kevin's influence. I think he was too scared to walk away or go to the authorities, but he wanted someone else to do it. I think Alex tried to warn Elowen, paid the ultimate price. And I think that because of the tape called Alex. See, I didn't think this initially because there's tapes that on a timeline happen after these events. And they're shot from the same POV that Alex normally would. Well, that wasn't until Cigarette mentioned in her video that after Alex and Kevin had a fight, Kevin started filming his own stuff. And by fight, I think Kevin killed Alex. When we hear Cigarette say that Kevin will be furious that Alex lost that tape, She was right. The police were investigating. Alex had let information get out. He had to clean up shop. Initially, he used Alex to do some of those things, like kill Cigarette, but then he would eventually kill Alex himself. That's why I believe the video titled Alex, in which we see no one operating the camera and Kevin standing up, features a photo of someone, I believe Alex, impaled through the throat. Every video that occurs after this being filmed by Kevin. Perhaps the final straw that tipped the scales was Matt. Matt showed up, had to be dealt with, and then his car disposed of. So after Baghead cleans up the mess, Kevin and Alex ditch his car, ditch Baghead, ditch Cigarette, and then finally the last dead weight, Alex. All of the photos and related evidence being burned as we saw in Burn. This also raises the question, what happened to Elowen? Well, last we saw her was when she mistook Alex driving Matt's car for Matt. But we actually get one other clue of what might have happened to her, and it's not great. So remember how there's 2 security camera tapes from outside of Elowen's house? Well, in one of them, nothing happens for a minute except some headlights go by. And in the other one, we just see who I believe to be Elowen's mom walk into the house. Well, if you turn up your audio on the clip of her mom walking into the house, it's not great. At 8 seconds, it sounds like there is a spring of some sort. Or if not a spring, maybe something breaking. I think whoever walked into the house ran into some kind of trap. And if Elowen's mom was murdered or kidnapped inside of her home, then chances for Elowen aren't the best. Especially if Kevin was tying up loose ends and the loosest end was Matt and the tape, then the only other person who knew about that tape would be Elowen. But maybe Elowen wasn't home. She doesn't have to be dead. Maybe she's still alive if you want her to be somewhere. Even if Alex was trying to save Elowen, it's not great that after Matt died and Alex was in Matt's car, probably with Kevin, they were waiting outside of a gas station where Elowen so happened to be. I think one of the biggest pieces of evidence that Alex was never evil, he was just a mentally ill person who was walked into an evil place, is the message we see following the pictures of his death that says, "Please don't steal my tapes, please, God is watching." I think in some way in Alex's mind, he was trying to do the right thing. He was too scared to speak out. He may have been incapable of speaking out, but he felt like if he documented everything, if there was some evidence out there somewhere, maybe it could be stopped. He had some grand concept of God or a higher power or moral right and wrong. And his answer to that were these tapes. He wanted someone to see what was happening. He needed someone to stop it, and he tried with Elowen and Matt. The other video series are pretty self-explanatory at this point. If you line up all of Elowen and Matt's tapes, they go to walk the dog, which leads them into Kevin or Alex's yard. I think the 3-story house is Alex's because the state of disrepair and Alex's mental condition kind of imply that maybe his parents left it to him. Maybe he doesn't have anywhere else to go, so he just kind of hangs around there. Maybe that's part of the reason that Kevin is so manipulative of him so they can use the property. Maybe that's also why Liam knew to tell Matt to go there, because obviously Liam would never have gone there and seen, like, you know, the Baghead and the other bodies, besides, you know, the raccoon, rest in peace. But with Matt and Elowen, they walk the dog and then they go camping and then they find the tape and they come home, which leads to Matt confronting Liam, which leads to him going to the 3-story house and getting killed. Cigarette's tapes are much the same. She hangs out with some friends who she, in my opinion, is trying to lure back to the project. She says too much and is brought out into the woods to be killed for it, probably not realizing this until it was too late. One final thing I want to clarify is I don't think Cigarette died on this night where we see her and Alex in a parking lot. Reason being, this footage from both Alex and Cigarette's perspective comes midway through both of their timelines going off of the video files. I think this was just another normal night of killing for them, and then later, after Cigarette said too much to her friend, she was murdered. Another point of evidence for this is the clothes she's wearing in the Polaroid and the night she asked to carry the sledgehammer are different than the shirt she was wearing that night in the parking lot with Alex. So I think a timeline for the final events of the series goes as follows. Alex gives Elowen and Matt a tape of the project's killings. This causes Cigarette to freak out. Matt then comes to the 3-story house to confront Alex and is killed by Kevin. Kevin and Alex then get rid of Matt's body and car, seeing Elowen at the gas station on their way to do so. After this, because Alex tried to tell Matt and Elowen, Alex is murdered. Cigarette probably doesn't know this, which is what leads her to telling her friend that she is jealous of the way Kevin treats Alex and that the two of them got into a big fight, and now Kevin is recording his own stuff. In this conversation, Cigarette says too much and she is murdered as well. Kevin then continues to burn and destroy evidence, likely killing Elowen and her mother at their home. If there's only one Baghead throughout the series, then this is likely when Baghead is killed as well. And Kevin seems to be the last man standing of whatever this project was. The ultimate mystery is who is uploading these tapes. Again, the channel's called kepther. Most of them just seem to be the file names ripped straight from the cameras that were taken. I think it only makes sense that the person uploading all of these is Kevin. I mean, nearly everyone else is dead and it was his project in the first place. Because of that, I think we see some images of what he wanted this project to be. Some kind of experimental art piece about murder and death. Because most telling, this seems to be the theme out of a lot of the named clips. Things like Pills has Kevin's voiceover as this droning music plays. Vultures, Burn, Cat 1 through 6. All things that feature death or something being destroyed. Granted, I think a lot of these were filmed by Alex, especially because they'll do the thing Alex does where he films one thing and then gets distracted with another. But I think a lot of the named ones, like Smut for example, have been edited, named, and uploaded by Kevin. I mean, the Alex tape had to be uploaded and named by Kevin. I don't think Alex named the video of his own murder. And Kevin also seems to be the one to murder Cigarette and Matt and possibly Elowen, meaning that is how he had access to all of that footage to then upload. I also think the last video in the series points out what happened to him. See, all of these are shot as if they're several years old. The only time we really get a definitive year is 2016 in the Nest security camera footage, which seems to be at the end of the timeline when Elowen possibly dies. And in addition, from the different seasons we see outside, from fall to spring, as well as the various states of the decomposing raccoon, it seems that the series takes place over about a year. So if the series happens between 2015 and 2016, then I think the final video, Old House, was meant to be recorded around the time the video was actually uploaded, 2020. The video that shows Alex's house abandoned after several years. Kevin wanted to hide the evidence and get away with it, and it seems he did. He killed everyone who knew too much and got rid of the evidence where he needed to. Now he's come back to the house years later, alone, the only person living or willing to tell of his crimes, which creates a horrific notion that Kevin is still out there, which I believe is a terrifying way to end this series. I mean, like I said earlier, there were a lot of people when these videos were coming out who thought it was real. I mean, think about it. If you were one of the first to come across this YouTube channel, you just saw footage of like streets and buildings and trees and then a dead animal and then boom, naked guy with a bag on his head. Obviously, the series is fictional, but it does such a great job at making itself come across as real. From the graphicness of what's shown to the casual nature of it all, I think it's an incredibly well done piece of found footage horror that doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, so many found footage pieces want to feel like they came from the internet or feel like they were pieced together videos taken from across the web. And this actually is. I mean, I understand why YouTube, nuked it, as mentioned earlier, but what an interesting piece of terror. When I was watching this for the first time, like alone in my room with the lights off, the droning noises during vultures and during Pills got to me. I can't find a lot of people who even talk about this thing online, let alone the creators or the actors and people involved. Hopefully this brings some light to it, and hopefully they come forward, and hopefully they have some more projects for us to check out. But for now, that was Kepther, the horror series banned from YouTube. And I thought it was really cool, and I think you're really cool, and I just want to say thank you for watching. I heard this series mentioned a while back, so I watched the re-upload of it and was baffled that this wasn't like some Shudder exclusive, found footage horror movie, that this whole thing just got wiped from YouTube. I think it's really cool. Obviously, it's graphic. Obviously, not everyone wants to see, naked dudes and a lot of blood and, stories about women being kidnapped and murdered, and that is totally okay. I do not blame you. But if you are into horror that deals with some heavier themes like that, then I highly encourage you to check it out. I'll have the re-upload as well as the Internet Archive version linked in the description below if you want to check those out. If I find any information about the creator after this video goes up, I'll be sure to link whatever I can link of theirs in the description as well. But most importantly, this was a scary thing I found online that I wanted to talk about. So thank you all for checking it out, and thank you for the support you've shown not only here, but on Creepcast and on Wendigang. It really does mean the world. New content on the way as always, so stay tuned for that. I believe that should do it for now, but before I go, I just want to say Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you.
Things went to go, went to go. It was this was really cool. I would like to see a little bit of this here. Oh my, oh, I understand. Y'all understand? Oh my, oh, okay. I think that's enough. I already just got flagged. I'm so cooked, bro. I'm so cooked. I just wanted to watch. I was just making a thumbnail of this video. I just wanted to see a little bit of it. I'm so cooked. This whole thing is cooked. I'm cooked, bro. It's all fake. Bro, please. It's fake, bro. It's fake. It's fake. Please, I beg. I beg the Twitch, please, YouTube, please. It's literally fake. It's all fake, bro. It's all fake. It's all fake. It is creepy, not gonna lie. Oh, this is when Kevin's up the stairs.
Who are you even gonna get in? Do you have a ladder?
It is creepy, not gonna lie. And suddenly it just cuts. I kind of imagine Alex having golden hair or yellow hair or some type of color hair. I do kind of imagine that, not gonna lie.
I've had my eye on it for some time now.
Bro, this video is making me think there's like it's over here making me think there's noises in my house. Another noises. Hours of this. 4 hours of this, bro. This is when they got rid of boyfriend's car. That's it. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, that would scare me, not gonna lie. Let me look at the comments. Who's right now? He's like, I gotta watch it. Bro, who's right now watching who right now I am watching a fairy video. What is going on? For some reason these videos is Keeper E are gone because they're talking about when YouTube took it down. I get that. This definitely feels like a insanity, like found footage. Oh yeah, it's done very, very well. I could just tell, not gonna lie. Yeah, I could just tell, honestly. Sorry, I'm still editing the, oops, the video. Give me a second. I'm still coloring in the the intro of this video. All right, okay. Let me look at more. Come here from Wendigo. I swear I did. Let me like that one too. Um, you're actually a hero for this. Oh, from saving it? Yeah. Let me go back to Wendigo's video and see if he has any
Was just random shots of nature or buildings. But in the midst of this unassuming
let me see. I hate young love burn. Okay, okay. That's kind of funny. I love how these are super disturbing and horrifying ARGs, and the main villain of it's just named. Okay, he has a point. I love how these super disturbing and horrifying ARGs have the main character of it just named Kevin. Okay, I get that. Who guy who's married in high school, sweetheart at like 21. I hate he sorry about that though. Um Wendigo looks like a 70s dad. Does he? Have a whole family? Oh, he kinda does. Um oh yeah, I do kinda like the raccoons that are kinda like a stopping point. I was gonna say, was my phone up? Ah, my phone died. It's cool though. Hey, but that was a disturbing ARG that YouTube banned. I hope this video doesn't get banned or like a very like, one of those, oh, do you want to age Chris sitting or are you sure videos? Because I actually showed the naked man there. Yeah, that was a complete accident, my bad. But I don't think I'll be playing the game today. I have too much homework, too much thinking, too much. Yeah, I need to go to bed. I got things to do tomorrow, so I'll see you guys later. Hope you guys doing good. I was about to do a Bible verse, but my phone died. Let me see if I can charge it real quick. Yeah, my bed's right here. If y'all can. Oh, you sure? It's up and running. It's up and running. All right, I got the verse. Now it says I can't really take my phone away from there, so you guys gotta hear me, okay? It says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. What verse is that called? Galatians 2, chapter 2, 20. Now, what does that mean? I have no idea. Actually, I think I do have a good idea what that means. No matter, because back then you'll be crucified for being Christian, and especially back in the Roman times, getting killed because you got killed because you were just Christian. Because everyone thought Christians were the reason of the big Roman fire, all that. So basically, hey, basically, no matter what happens to you, no matter who hurts you or tries to say your religion is wrong, I mean our religion Christianity is wrong, or basically it doesn't matter. Even if you're killed for it, Christ is always with you. Jesus is always with you, no matter what, the good and the testing days. And I actually heard this in a TikTok, and I actually kind of liked it. Basically, it said there are going to be good days that go your way, or days, because there are no bad days. There are just days that go your way and days where you're tested. There are no such thing as a bad day. You are tested. Sometimes a test is hard, and sometimes a test is easy. But remember, every time you be like, I don't hear God, I don't hear God. Remember, a teacher never talks during a test. You are every single day is a test. And I don't want to scare you because every time I take a test, I be scared, bro. I want to perform, bro. But God isn't asking for you to perform. He's just asking for your best. Your best is enough. Your best is expected. Your best is it doesn't matter. He so loves you even at your weakness. Even when you fail. Yeah, you can fail every single he still loves you. All we have to do is just love him back and believe and have faith. Not just faith, but believe, understanding, a relationship with him. That's what people truly don't understand. I remember this one person was like, I saw on TikTok like, why would I want to follow God, Christianity's God, if God's going to send me to hell, you know, if I don't believe in him. Well, it's kind of like an invitation. Think about it. If I invite you to my party and you decline, did I decline for real? Or was it me that declined, or was it you? Now, I know a lot of people be like, why do I have to go to hell though? Well, that's kind of it. God, here's the thing. When you don't want to accept God is your Lord and Savior, Jesus is your Lord and Savior, believe in him, God gives you what that takes away what he created. So no, you cannot go back on earth and just be happy because, well, God created earth. God created life. God created product. God created the earth, the grass, the trees, the water. So he, so no, so basically it's kind of like in a relationship, which God wants from us. In a relationship, let's say I give you a plant or a dog, and you want to break up this relationship, or you never want a relationship in the first place. Do you still think you're going to have my dog after that? No, yeah, I'm taking my dog away. God's kind of like, okay, I understand that, but I'm not going to give you, my stuff, So he takes away, and be like, well, still like, why do I have to go to hell? Well, I mean, that's kind of like the only place, honestly. Say heaven or hell. Also, you may be saying, why do I have to be tortured, like with agony and in the pits of fire? First, fire is kind of like just a cartoon thing. You get all your information from the Simpsons or TikTok. Um, Actually, I thought about this for a bit, and I actually think it's kind of correct. So basically, why do I have? So if hell isn't fire, and it's just like the lake of fire, for Satan and his demons and dark spirits, why do I have to suffer with agony and torture? Well, because I was thinking about this. What about the reason why we get why if you go to hell you'll have torture and agony is because humans created torture and agony. God did not create that. We created it. So in the relationship, we both offered things. God offers delight, happiness, joy, all of that, and we offer agony and torture. And if we break up, and if you break up with God, God's going to take all his stuff back, and you're going to take all your stuff back, which is agony and torture, which kind of reflects on you, which you can, and again, humans kind of do that to themselves. Now, this is just a theory of mine. I'm not fully believe it's correct, and I might have to read some more of the Bible. But honestly, I think that's kind of a solid theory of why we just kind of, instead of just sitting in hell, we're getting torture and suffer because humans created suffering and torture. So that's just my small little theory. Also, I just want to say God loves you. God really does. No matter what you do, and it hurts so much for me because I still like commit sin myself. It's so like it still hurts because, like I said, I still do a lot. I don't do the greatest things, and I still have to wrap my head around someone who will still love me after all the things I have done. That's why I believe in him in the first place. And he still loves you, okay? Not only God loves you, people in your life love you. Connect with people, go outside, make your bed every morning, get some water, eat some healthy breakfast. Also, you don't have to be like those influencers where they just eat steak and bread. Just separate your food and you'll be fine. Stop eating every like 5 seconds. Exercise once in a while. You don't have to exercise every day. Just once in a while. Schedule everything. Find times to take breaks. Find times to take breaks. And I think you'll be Gucci. Sorry, my phone is still. I'm actually kind of talking while I'm also editing the video. I mean, not editing the video, making a thumbnail. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. God bless y'all, and see y'all later.